Yeah, Sansanzi, welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. What an incredible show it's been. Entertainment, inspiration, good food. But now let's talk about some incredible advice that you might need right now, right? So listen to this. It's estimated that over 68% of the global population experience lactose malabsorption. Yes, it's a condition that can result in lactose intolerance. Now, despite its prevalence, a significant number of individuals remain unaware that they may be susceptible to this condition. So don't worry, we got you covered. We got registered dietitian Kim Hofmann in the building. She's joining us to shed some light on the symptoms and potential remedies. Kim, how are we doing this morning?
Very good, thank you. And yourself?
Yeah, I'm good. And I want to debunk this whole thing about lactose intolerance because you hear it all around. I think a few years ago it was like a hype word. People were just saying it so that they could do alternatives for some random reasons.
I somehow find that quite true.
Yeah, like, oh no, I'll have some of this instead. But let's just talk about it. What is lactose intolerance really, and what are like the symptoms of it? So we can just get this out the way. Let's establish that.
Okay, so lactose intolerance very simply is the person cannot digest the milk sugar, lactose.
Okay.
So that's what lactose intolerance is.
And that's found in milk.
Lactose is the sugar that's found in milk.
All right.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that makes sense.
The symptoms that we feel would be bloating, potentially cramping, gas, very commonly, and diarrhea.
Is this something in terms of a symptom that you'd experience, like, let's say, as soon as it touches my lips, after digestion, a few minutes after consuming? When would that normally be experienced?
So there is a range. It starts, the earliest is about half an hour after, so 30 minutes, and we can feel it up to 2 hours. It can start up to 2 hours. It all depends on how much you're having and what you're having it with.
Okay. And I'm assuming that predominantly it is dairy that does that? Is it generally
it's dairy, because the lactose is just found. So if dairy has been used in a food, potentially it can. Biggest culprits would be those foods that have the most lactose. So milk is the biggest culprit. And then the one, ice cream. Everyone complains after ice cream.
What, really?
Everyone that's lactose intolerant is one of those things they just can't do.
Oh, no.
So those would be sort of the biggest.
Okay. That makes sense. So then people that have, let's say, an intolerance to lactose, is it something that you're born with, or do you develop it over time? Does it happen as we get older? How does it really work?
Yeah, very rare to be born with it. So it's possible, but it's so rare. Generally, what happens is that over the years, our body produces less of the enzyme that digests it, and therefore we become intolerant.
Oh, so we become like less the ability to tolerate it.
So the body can't digest it, and then when that lactose doesn't get digested into its sugar, when it goes through entirely, that's when the bacteria act on it and we have those symptoms.
Ah, that makes sense, okay. And then you kind of get people that might even have this intolerance but possibly aren't even aware of it. Is that possible?
Yeah, absolutely. So intolerance happens over a level. So some people, if you have absolutely no lactase...
It's like a scale.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you have no lactase, you'll react very quickly, and you'll probably know. It also depends on how much lactose you consume. So if someone hardly drinks milk, maybe a little bit of cheese here and there,
you're not going to be
if it's hard cheese, there's very little lactose in it, you're not really going to know. So you don't get the symptoms because you don't eat enough. And some people's bodies just manage it better, so they don't get symptoms. So some gut bacteria can also digest it, and some people's bodies just manage it.
Luck of the draw.
So yes, so you're not having enough, so you don't really get symptoms. You get symptoms because you're eating a whole food and you think it might be something else, or your body deals with the lactose without having major symptoms.
Yeah. Now, I have a question I think a lot of people can be listening to now, especially those that have this intolerance. What if you love milk, but you can't drink it?
But you can't drink it, your body doesn't like it.
Where does one live in a world like this, where you can't drink milk, but you have that intolerance, but you still want to consume it? Are there options?
Yes, absolutely.
There are?
Yes.
Okay, talk to me. What are they?
So because we're lacking lactase, the enzyme, what they've come up with is let's put that lactase in the product that contains lactose. The digestion happens before it enters your body.
Oh, it's just like it's pre-digested in a weird way, right?
And if you've ever tasted lactose-free milk, it tastes different. Because the sugars are now in their simple form, not in their combined form. And so it tastes slightly different. So so lactose intolerant people can eat lactose-free foods. So we get lactose-free milk, yogurt, cheese even these days. So they should be able to have some at least.
Now, I know you mentioned earlier before we even went on air that you love milk, right?
I do.
So I don't know if this is the real one or not, or maybe you can tell the difference, but I think that's worthy of a cheers.
Okay.
And believe it or not, but, apparently,
This tastes almost real to me. I love milk, so I would drink this.
So I was put on the impression that this was real milk, but apparently it's...
No, I think this is the lactose-free one.
Is it?
Yeah.
I can't tell the difference.
I actually can't either now, 1 or 2 sips. Yeah.
Clearly, you don't have to worry then, because if you love
Tastes
milk
great.
and you maybe have an intolerance, then there's definitely an answer for you. We've got you covered. And again, if you're feeling like you're having any symptoms after dairy, then maybe you have an intolerance, and maybe you want to check up with a dietitian or a doctor to see what's really going on. And remember, you could be lactose intolerant, but you definitely want to find out. But for now, though, we have put a QR code on our social media pages, which you can scan to find out more information, and especially if this conversation has piqued your interest. And on top of this, Clover's no-lax range of delicious milk and yogurts will allow you to enjoy dairy again without the horrible side effects. So what are you waiting for? Give it a try and be free again. Cheers.
Cheers.
Say goodbye to nausea and cramps and say hello to delicious freedom with no-lax range of lactose-free milk and yogurt. Be free with lactose-free.